Hello, children of the cosmos. It's yours truly, Mr. G, calling once again, and you're listening to Unidentified Education Podcast. Well, the shields are holding, and we are ready to receive transmission from the mothership, so please stand by. The year is 2021 EPA, that's pre-arrival of the extraterrestrials. I'm currently stationed here in Texas and in an undisclosed area, of course. The windows are up in the RV and the AC is on because it is getting hotter here in Texas. But that's not going to stop us from transmitting, is it? So now it's time for UEP's UFO sightings, science, and news. Now the FAA still cannot explain pilots' UFO sightings last week over New Mexico. So the other day, the FAA released a short statement that a pilot seeing a UFO object over New Mexico shortly after noon local time. Although the FAA, although never saw anything on their radars, nor that they see an object or anything on the radioscopes. But they did ask, do you see any targets up there? And the pilots responded, well, we just saw something right over the top of us. And I hate to say it, but it looks like a long cylindrical object that almost resembles a cruise missile. And it was moving above us really fast over the top of us. And this was all recorded and reported to the FAA. Now, they still don't know what it is, and they can't explain it. But we all know what it is, right? It's the Tic Tac UFO that David Fravor saw and everyone's talking about. And this thing is really starting to show itself. And the fact that it's flying around airplanes, I'm assuming it's either foreign to us, like another country, or extraterrestrial foreign, if you know what I mean. It could be two things. And since it's flying around other airplanes, I'm assuming it's going to be one or the other. I'm going with, I don't know, maybe it's a hybrid. I don't know if it's actually UFO. I don't know if the extraterrestrials are willing to expose themselves as much as they had going on recently. So I'm thinking it's either a hybrid of alien tech and our tech, but it's definitely I'm leaning towards a hybrid between alien and human technology. I don't think it's full extraterrestrial, out of this world flying object. It's the object has been seen flying up out of the water and into outer space, so I'm thinking it's definitely human and alien tech, reverse engineering tech. We might be seeing more of it as it continues. If it's just a solid object, it may be unmanned as well. So we're gonna find out more about that. It's something the FAA will just cannot explain, and neither can we at the moment. So hopefully more news comes out on this Tic Tac UFO, because it's driving everybody bonkers. Another sighting of strange light seen in the sky near Charlatan sparks UFO debate. What was it? So again, people are seeing a string of odd lights, and we've seen it on Facebook, and they're very cool looking. We've seen these string of lights before, but I'm leaning towards Elon Musk's Starlink program. I know eventually these satellites that are reflecting light off the sun, eventually they're going to be non-reflectant and be non-visible in the night sky. So I think people are getting confused, thinking these are UFOs. They're not. They're a string of satellites that is Elon Musk's worldwide internet project, Starlink. So try not to get too confused with what you're seeing, but I'm glad people are reporting it and videotaping it, so we kind of ready to identify that as more sightings continue. Miley Cyrus was either chased down by a UFO or she had too much weed wax. What is weed wax? Is that just THC? Okay. So the pop star revealed that she once had a close encounter with a UFO that chased him down. It was her and another friend, and apparently the other witnesses saw this UFO as well. Now, the weird thing is, she recalls experiencing the event in vivid detail, and she was driving through San Bernardino, I guess that's California, right, with a friend, and they were chased down by some sort of UFO, and she's pretty sure she saw it, and but she also bought some weed wax from a guy in a van in front of a taco shop. So it could have been the weed wax, she said. But she explained it that the best way to describe it, it was a flying snow plow. And it had a big plow in front of it, and it was glowing yellow. And I did see it fly, she said, and my friend saw it too. But the weird thing is, she mentions that I didn't feel threatened by it at all. Actually, I did see a being sitting in front of the object. That's a being, as in an alien being or a Martian. In front of the flying object, it looked at me and made eye contact. I think that was the real shocker. Looking into the eyes of something that couldn't quite be wrapped around my head. The Midnight Sky singer went on to add that a couple of other cars witnessed the event too, which in her mind is more than enough evidence that what she saw was real. She was shaken up for like 5 days, and it effed me up, she added. I couldn't really enjoy the sky the same. I thought they might come back. Well, they might come back, Miley. You were chased by space security, and you made eye contact with an alien being. You never know. That's probably in their code. Never make eye contact with an alien gray, especially on a space plow. All right, let's see. Another celebrity reported a UFO recently. Quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield, and his wife Emily reported possible UFO sighting in Texas. He tweeted, "I'm almost 100% certain Em and I just saw a UFO drop straight out of the sky on our way home from dinner. We stopped and looked at each other and asked if either of us saw it. Very bright ball of light going straight down the sky towards Lake Travis. Anybody else witness this? Question mark." Let's see, lots of tweetbacks. One guy wrote, "Nah, Baker, this was just me coming to thank you for being a wonderful quarterback." Aww. One guy put "Meteor Bro." Another person put "The truth is out there." Yes, it is. One person put "Pics or it didn't happen, bruh." And "The stars are aligning for that ring you're gonna get next season." Isn't that sweet? Alright, that's it. Up next, our topic: did we come from Mars? Don't you go anywhere, we'll be right back. Did we in fact come from Mars? You know, it's said that life began on Mars, and we had to travel from Mars to Earth to evolve, to grow. And according to a professor, his name is Steve Benner, and he has a theory that some essential chemicals to form life, while early Mars likely had them. And we all know that we need water to live. You know, that's part of the main building block to create, to have life. But he said that when we went looking for life on Mars, or at least the origins of life, and that we're not looking good enough on Mars. I mean, now we have that new rover that has that helicopter that's going to see a lot of stuff. There's one of the stumbling blocks to life starting on Earth is the fact that water is the most universally accepted and necessary for the onset of life. But he mentioned that RNA, which many consider to be the earliest expression of genetic replication and other essential precursors to life, falls apart when you build it in water, he says. Like I mentioned, water is essential to the building of life. And what keeps that from happening, and over his years of studying, is the presence of a form of an element called boron, my nickname in high school. And while geologists say boron was too scarce on Earth and to support any widespread creation of RNA, that it was more abundant on early Mars. And one sign of the presence on Mars is that at least one meteorite delivered some boron to Earth, kind of like a symbiote from the Spider-Man from the Marvel comics, or any sci-fi movie. The Martians come from a meteorite. So in fact, we arrived on Earth the same way. Although we're not necessarily on the meteorite, the chemical necessary for us to evolve was on the meteorite. Same thing, same. So he also found out in a lab that if a form of the element, and I'm going to butcher this, molybdenum is added into the mix, the boron steadied compounds and arranged to form a stable version of the RNA. And he mentioned the element was far more available on Mars, the red planet, than in early Earth. And so the question is, did RNA on Mars lead to actual DNA-based life? And did those life forms then travel to Earth on rocks kicked up when a meteorite struck Mars? So essentially, we are the parasitic forms that attached ourselves to a meteor as we slowly invaded the Earth. So the animals slowly watched as we took over the Earth and made it into our own. It just shows you that, there has to be life out there, right? Because we are a form of proof that there's life, and we cannot be the only life out there. Even if we were a big accident, even if an element was attached to a meteorite and struck Earth, there's more than one thing that could have gone wrong during the process of that, right? So in a way, we are proof that there is life, and probably a more advanced life, that just the same incident happened further back, and now that civilization had a chance to grow and figure out more things. So the movies are not quite off, the meteorite landing in the backyard and primordial soup mix, as they call it, emerged from the meteorite and drizzled onto the ground, and somehow we were formed out of that drizzle, the meteor drizzle, and we started slowly populating this Earth as it formed into a beautiful Earth, and that we are eventually destroying. And that's why I believe that we are seeing more and more intervention of the extraterrestrials. And that's why I say pre-arrival, because even though they might be here and they might have visited, they haven't officially introduced themselves. And when they do, their message will probably be, stop what you're doing right now. This planet is probably this planet is probably the best planet in the solar system as a Goldilocks planet, and you guys are destroying it. We're going to have to intervene and take over, and you guys are just going to have to sit back and watch us. No telling what type of technology they have to contain us, but that's probably the last thing they want to do. But it seems like a big change will come, and unfortunately it's going to be an occupation when we have just completely they're drained of options. And we all know that there is a intergalactic federation out there, and that we are working with extraterrestrials on Mars. So hopefully there's some diplomatic discussions on whether to completely take over or to help us, to aid us and provide us with technology that will help clean the airs, repair the ozone layer, and they might end up just taking our nukes and weapons, which is not a bad idea. We'll still figure out ways to defend ourselves as a nation. But they're going to remind us that we came on this planet by chance, and they're taking a chance on us. They're taking a leap of faith that we will not destroy the planet that we so happenly crash landed on billions of years ago. Or heck, maybe they planned to keep it they planned to keep this planet for themselves, and we accidentally showed up. Or some boron hitched a ride, get it on a meteor, crash landed on Earth, and we're here. Gee golly whiz. And now a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll be back with a recap. Don't you go anywhere now. It's fascinating that that celebrities are seeing these sightings just as we do. And you would figure they would have a more insight on things because of their wealth. And look at Tom DeLonge. Tom DeLonge was in a very successful band called Blink 182. And they made lots of albums out there. They toured. And then he took a break from music. And he started To the Stars Academy, which is his own company. And he got involved with people that were involved with UFO technology. And he planned on building a spacecraft using this alien tech, which I don't know if he ever got around to it. Heck, that's what probably the tic-tac-toe UFO thing. It's probably Tom DeLonge's project he's been working on. But he gathered all these scientists together, and he started a mission and wrote many books. UFOs are they never go out of they're not trending. It's not like the Loch Ness Monster or Bigfoot. It never goes away because they're constant. We're just the sky. The sky is the limit. And we look up at the sky for inspiration. And when we see these lights and they're moving at an unfathomable amount of speed, we're hoping that it's somebody from beyond with answers. We are seeking answers. We need answers to our questions. We're at an age of technology, and we are the age of, we're kind of fed up. I mean, the old traditions are dying. People are thinking for themselves. And we know when we're being lied to. And this generation will call you out on your lying and your gaslighting or your politics. I don't like to get into it. But it's time that we are to make a quantum shift in information, and it's happening slowly. And it's getting harder and harder to hide truth, events, because everything is recorded on a cell phone. Everything is posted online for everyone to see. Documents are being released. Pentagon is releasing documents about UFOs. People want to know the truth. We're not in the 90s anymore. We are in the age of technology, the age of information, and we need to know these things. We need to know what other governments know. Now, we're not talking about secret projects. I mean, the government needs to hide certain things so that other countries do not try to steal technology. But if there's evidence of life, we need to definitely know what our country knows or knows what scientists knows, and stop airbrushing and covering up photos that we receive from satellites and from this new rover. There's some beautiful pictures coming out, but I do believe that they enhance them and they airbrush them, and they might miss something. They might try to airbrush the sky to look a little bit prettier for a magazine, and you might miss something, or change the rocks a different color, and you'll miss. You might cover up something you don't want to. That might be a sign of a civilization or a tree or a monustone or something of that nature. We are in the age of information and technology, and we have the right to know. And we need to know. And there's lots of proof out there. There's a lot of documentation. And there's a lot that even our top scientists do not know. But I think because, of sci-fi and movies, scientists can't just come out and say, oh, there's E.T. was real and it's on this star. They just cannot do that. They'll risk looking like a look at Miley Cyrus in her story today. She added, it could have been the weed. She knew what it was. It's always like people are afraid to express themselves and to share their story. They have to refer to a drug or hallucinogenics. She knows what we saw. What she saw. She knows what she saw, and there's witness there. And she is very lucky. Not only she is a talented musician, wealthy, she witnessed what very few people witness, is a UFO, being chased by a UFO and making eye contact with the driver, the operator, the being, the extraterrestrial, the star children, whoever was operating the vehicle. She made eye contact. And there was some kind of telepathic messaging going on because she didn't feel threatened by the object. Who knows? Maybe it would have stopped and said hello if they would have stopped. Maybe he just wanted to tell them, hey, your tail light's out. Or maybe it was just the wax weed, like she said. Maybe we're all huffing too much waxweed. I don't know. Thank you so much for listening, children of the cosmos. I love doing this podcast, and I don't care if one person is listening or a million people are listening. I do appreciate you spending your sweet time on me. If you would like to contribute to the cause, you can donate to my PayPal at paypal.me/UE podcast. That's paypal.me/UE podcast. I really do appreciate it. Or you can become a supporter for only 99 cents a month. And it will help me sustain future episodes. You can visit my website, anchor.fm/U-E, anchor.fm/U-E. Don't forget to send me a message, tell me how I'm doing, or if you have any ideas for future episodes. Till then, children of the cosmos, be well, be content, for the universe has many a great plans in store for you. See you soon. Good night. Good day. Good afternoon. I bid you adieu.